Here's why I think you should become a specialist at whatever you do before you ever begin diversifying into other things. And if you're just learning on how to invest or how to be a better business owner, there's no better time than now to become an absolute expert at what you do, because that gives you the biggest amount of opportunity. And here's why. A couple hundred years ago, our society was built in such a way that it was called an agrarian society. If you wanted to make a lot of money, you had to basically work step by step. It was very slow. We didn't have technology, right? So imagine it like this. If you were a farmer and everybody else was a farmer as well, so maybe you lived in a society of farmers. You lived in a neighborhood, your neighbor was a farmer, your other neighbor was a farmer. And in order for you to become incredibly wealthy or to have more money than the next guy, you would have to basically make your farm perform really well, save up money, save up money, save up money, and then eventually you would buy another farm. Maybe you buy out your neighbor, right? Okay, well now you make more money, but you still don't have the technology to automate certain things, to make things better, more efficient. And then you save up money, maybe it's twice as fast this time, you're saving up money, and then you buy another farm and another farm. And so it was a very, very slow approach on how you would make a lot of money. Same thing with, like, let's say you owned a steel mill. With that steel mill, you made money with it, you saved up money, and eventually you had more money to buy another steel mill. This is a really slow way of growing your wealth. And the reason that so many people are able to become so wealthy so quickly today is because they become specialists. So they find certain skills that pay a lot of money, or certain activities, right? Maybe they learn how to invest. That skill right there can make you the richest man in the world. So if you learn how to invest really well, if you learn how to invest better than other people, those are extremely high return skills. So there are other skills out there as well, like sales, for example, that can make people a lot of money. Marketing, coding, right? Those are skills that are in super high demand. And so if people can learn how to be really, really good at those things, they can make a lot of money, or they can make more money than their peers, for example. There's always going to be some sort of cap to how much you can make as an employee, but it does open the door for higher pay brackets. And so you're able to make more money than maybe your peers or your friends or whoever it might be, as long as you can learn those skills. So after we learn those skills, then we can begin diversifying. So the same thing applies to investing as well. When we're investing, we know that, hey, I need to do this. I need to become really good at this thing or this thing, XYZ, whatever it is. We need to learn how to become really good at those things. And when we become experts at a certain investment, that's when we can start growing our wealth exponentially. Let's say we become really, really good at choosing Airbnbs, right? So Airbnb is a great business model, right? We do Airbnb arbitrage, we buy and hold, but sometimes we don't even have to buy the property at all. That's arbitrage. And so if we can find a market and we can find a way to identify these properties better than other people, that skill right there can pay you millions and millions of dollars. So if you're a new investor, you should focus on one thing at a time. And I remember early on in my career, that was Forex. So I focused fully on Forex for years and years and years. And that's all I did, because I knew that, hey, once one thing begins to work, I can use that to become really skilled at something else. And today I have over 30 different things that I have invested in within my portfolio. And the reason that I did all those things is because I became experts at those things one at a time. And eventually I found ways to scale beyond that, even where I don't even have to know how to operate the investment. So I find other people who are experts and who are going to operate my investment for me, because that gives me diversification and exposure to each one of those industries. However, I still don't have to become an expert. If somebody knows how to operate Airbnbs really well, or exotic car rentals, or oil wells, I give them my investment and I make money off of that. So I learned that over time. I had to spend time figuring out, okay, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, but I don't really have the time to become good at this or that thing or this thing, right? Whatever it might be. Everybody has their own preferences, but I do recommend that everybody still does focus on one thing and then expands out from that one thing. When you focus in on one thing, that allows you to become the best in your industry at that one specific skill. So if that skill is picking Airbnbs, like we talked about, there are people that would actually pay you for that service. So if you can become so good at picking profitable Airbnb arbitrage opportunities, that's a great opportunity for you to start a business or maybe assist other investors. We provide that service for our students, but if you can become super good at that one thing, all of a sudden you're known as the guy who can find me a profitable Airbnb. 95% of the time, it's a profitable Airbnb. Wow, this guy's amazing. There are more pieces to the puzzle. You're not the only guy involved. So maybe there's somebody that you partner with that's really good at negotiating. Maybe this person knows how to negotiate Airbnb. So once you found it, you found the property, you ran the numbers, you know that it's a profitable thing, this person can come in and they can talk with the homeowner and negotiate for them to lower their price. Maybe that's one benefit that we want to focus on. Hey, let's lower the price that we pay every single month so that when we're arbitraging this on Airbnb, we're still making a lot of money because we're paying 10% less or 20% less, whatever it is. Whatever amount you can lower it by is going to be additional profit in your pocket. So we want to make sure that we lower it first. Second of all, second thing that we want to do is find marketing that's going to sell this product, right? So if that person is negotiating the whole deal for you, they're going to look for teams that can do the photography for you, that can write all the copy. That negotiator is going to be negotiating certain pieces of that transaction to come together, and they're going to help you have the most profitable Airbnb package. So those are just two examples of experts that you might need in your portfolio. Somebody who can find Airbnbs for you, somebody who can help negotiate them. Those are all crucial pieces because the terms that you get on your lease are going to determine how much profit you're making off of this whole deal. A couple other examples. For example, we have people who are experts at e-commerce. So somebody went out, they became an expert at e-commerce. They know how to sell on Amazon. They know how to choose products. They know how to list them correctly, how to photograph them, right? Maybe they're doing drop shipping. Maybe they're not doing drop shipping. And now that investor becomes an expert at that one thing. They know exactly all the ins and outs. They know how to operate it. They know which levers to pull in order to make it more profitable. And best of all, they can actually provide that service to you. So if you're a new investor, if you're somebody who's literally just starting out, my recommendation is becoming an expert like that. Find one thing that you could just hone in on for 6 months. Maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months, maybe 12 months, but it's something that you have to just really love and be passionate about because there's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be things that happen that maybe you didn't quite expect, but if you can become an expert for that one thing and be passionate about that one thing, you want that thing to be the vehicle that changes your life. It's really good to be able to not only start from scratch, but also once you've built up experience, once you become an expert, then you start diversifying. So now you become an expert at e-commerce, you have your e-commerce stores running. Now you find an expert in Airbnb. Now maybe you learn how to do Airbnb, right? And after that, you learn how to do Forex. You learn all these different skills and you start piecing together your portfolio. Well, now that you've learned your core skills, maybe 3 to 5 core skills that you're just really good at, then you can start hiring out the rest. Oh, I also want to do crypto. Oh, I also want to rent out jets and yachts and all these different things. Maybe I want to trade watches. Well, you don't have to become an expert at it because there's somebody that's already an expert at it and they can handle that process for you and you just split the profits with them. All right, guys, this is why I believe you need to become a specialist before you start diversifying too crazy. You don't want to be spread too thin. You want to get really good at one thing and then start building your portfolio. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.